Welcome everyone to the game of the day. XL versus Finest. XL looking to prove themselves to be the top seed, the top contenders on the Pathfinders once again. Whereas Finest, they're looking for that rematch. They're looking for that revenge. I'm Janiro, your host for the rest of the weekend. MP, your analyst as well for the rest of the weekend. This time we have Twiggy on the desk. Hello.
Hi, it's nice to be back. It really is. This time I get to go on first, right before a game, which is always lovely, because then I don't have to just talk about what's happening before. I can actually get silly with it, which is great.
I absolutely love it. Getting silly with it. Getting silly with the cast. Incredible casting for the Hookars versus Clover game.
You're so kind.
But now we have XL versus Finest. So XL, they walked away 2-0 against Kova yesterday. It was a very dominant performance, and you know they were looking to have a little bit of fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, XL went in kind of not wanting to show any strats. They were just defaulting, going for those early round aggressions on different parts of the map, going for a kind of group effort right there, maybe trying to prove for something in the sides as well, especially in Icebox. I didn't like what I saw right there. Obviously, it worked against Kova, but when we come against Finest, I don't think that is gonna work. I think definitely XL has stuff prepared for this match, and it's gonna be good stuff to see. It's gonna be something to analyze for.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it is just scary seeing that they were able to do that, especially after seeing that 3-mapper between Hookars and Kova. It's, you know, the fact that they were able to completely not show strats, completely not take it 100% seriously, just run in, get kills, dry peek everything, and it works. That's scary.
Yeah, they were just chilling, but looking at the roster, they have a right to be just chilling. Every single one of these players know exactly what they're doing. Alive yesterday had an incredible performance. Foxy on the IGL really knows what they're doing as well. Patatek, Mochiwawa, we've highlighted them time and time again here on Polaris, and they're all really good at their jobs.
Yeah, absolutely. And damn, Foxy is looking buff there.
Hey, drop gym
buff?
workout.
Yeah. God damn. But yeah, XL is looking so good. Not just in the pictures, but in the game. I love how they're playing, or how they played, especially in the group stage. They had so much stuff prepared. They just have the raw aim power as well. They don't really need those setups when going against, I would say, Kova on the group stage as well, against like H2O Alliance. But now we're against Finest. I have to play that devil's advocate. Finest, they won the last time around. Obviously lost the first map, but then came back. They reverse Rape Kings, like we said. So I think that might play a part in here, but I think XL, they have grown so much from that week too as well.
Yeah, Finest, the team here that's looking for that revenge, and we said it yesterday. You know, you had the pleasure of casting the 3-mapper Twiggy. Talk us through your emotions. Talk us through what we're seeing right now.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Obviously, we always think of Finest. We've said it time and time again, the two sides of Finest. They have either they can absolutely dominate, probably best in the field in terms of just pure performance, or they start to throw a little bit. They start to play a little confidently and throw away a few rounds and give open doors to other teams. And that's what we saw over and over again in that Hookars match. Eventually, they did manage to win it out, and no fault to them. That was absolutely brilliant, the fact that they were able to come back from that first map, although they have done that so many times at this point that I don't even think it's a problem for them whatsoever. They just get it over with, whatever, map 2. But, you know, this is a team that can, at their peaks, really perform higher than any other team we've seen so far in Polaris. But at their troughs, they're really, really not the kind of team that could beat XL.
Yeah, and also yesterday, the roster, specifically the individual players, the first 2 games, Destructive was really online. Towards that final game, Destructive not having as much of a performance, but Yassine was the one who stepped up that time around. So it looks like there seems to be a bit of a switch between these players.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to still highlight a little bit how Finest on their top. I don't think they can dominate, but they can definitely win against XL, who is sloppy. So if XL makes any mistakes in this matchup and Finest are on their top level, I think that is definitely a scary chance for Finest to take this. But I think XL, they are right now on the top, but Finest, they could definitely come in. Like Bunker said yesterday, they have struggled on that first map. The mental wasn't really there on the interview. You saw that he was really bummed, even though they won. He was really bummed that again it happened. They lost the first map. I think that is definitely something that they need to work on. That is definitely something they have worked on and had worked on previously as well. So I think that could be the place where we see maybe Finest getting some improvement, but it's only one day after that Who Cars game, so can you see actually that much?
Yeah, let's have a look at the maps as well, specifically to see which is going to be the first map that we're going to be seeing Finest maybe winning. Maybe, maybe they're going to switch it up a little bit today. Maybe they're actually going to hit the round running. Maybe it's going to be the classic where that first map is not going to be going in their favor. So by the looks of it, it seems that it's going to be Icebox, Haven, and Breeze. Twiggy?
I mean, yeah, this is a chance for them to really show once again what they're made for on Icebox, because they performed quite well on it. But again, it was one where they did give away a few rounds to Who Cars, and this might be just that chance to go, okay, silliness is over, let's just get this over and done with, let's get on to XL, let's get this first map, and just really, show them what we're really made of, because XL have seen Finest at their best. In fact, Finest have beaten XL already. Yeah. But Finest, they want to do it again. They want to do it in the best way possible. Icebox is a strong choice for them.
Yeah, absolutely. They won in Icebox against XL 13-5. They have had some tough games, especially against Alliance, H2O. So I think there could be definitely a chance for XL to pop off. When we go to Haven, that could be really, really risky for Finest. I think that is just a straight up win for XL. 13-8 last time. I don't think Finest is gonna even get that many rounds this time. And Breeze is kind of mystery for me. Yeah, sure, Finest won last time, but 13-10, it's not easy.
Yeah, that was a close call. But also looking at the predictions of the talent, I know that all of us went for XL, except Sam. As we mentioned, she's not here, but she's here in spirit. She's the one who voted for Finest. So looking at these map picks, Twiggy, are you comfortable with your prediction?
Yeah, I think I am. Okay. I think XL have the upper hand here. I think, as you said, definitely Haven is going to be a map where they're going to probably show them exactly what they're made of. XL is just a really strong team.
Cursing
in every Oh, yeah, no, I shouldn't have done that. I did that so many times last map as well. Anyway, I think XL do take this one. I think Haven, as you said, they're going to probably smash that one out the park. Breeze, they're pretty strong on it. And Finest, they lost quite a few rounds to Kova yesterday, and although Kova do look very strong, as we've seen, there wasn't really a baseline to base their performance off of that day. But now we've seen them against Who Cars. They're definitely an intimidating team. But I think with Who Cars, Finest are not really going to be able to kind of hold their ground on that one. I think XL take it. But this could be the first time we see Finest take the first map in a long time.
Yeah, and one of the things as well that I want to bring into this is Finest yesterday, after they walked away with the win, we had the interview with Bunkar, and he looked just exhausted, to say the least. So, yes, Who Cars, they walk away with the win this time around, but my question is whether or not Finest has had that opportunity to reset mentally, and if they have an MP, are you worried?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really worried. I think they have been able to reset, but the thing is, if XL can grab like a 4-0, 6-0 lead or something like this, even like a 4-round lead could be too bad for Finest, because that the first map is gonna be literally impossible for Finest if they lose out those rounds. It's gonna already start climbing in mentally, and I think we saw kind of defaulty XL yesterday on Icebox. There was some sloppy stuff, but I think today is gonna be so much different. There's gonna be so much control with the double controller, maybe even something new, but I think the double controller is way to go for XL, definitely.
Yeah, the teams also are going to be fighting for those Twitter bragging rights, as we have seen some things on the timeline. It's going to be Finest against XL and Icebox. First of all, the compositions looking pretty standard.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely what we kind of see from both of these teams a lot of the time. Neither of them really jump outside the box ever. I don't think XL and Finest are two teams that really do like to stick to their comps. They don't like to test things. We saw Kova, obviously, last match. Unfortunately, now they're out. Testing a lot of things all the time. This is completely different. They're very confident in their map picks here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love the rotations yesterday from Finest in this map. I think Finest were definitely really, really on fire in this map, but XL, they haven't shown that potential that they have, especially yesterday, I think.
Yeah, for the series of the day, XL against Finest, revenge arc for Finest. XL looking to prove everything. We have Pavlos and Neo on the mic. Pavlos has been dying to get his voice out here today. Guys, take it away.
I was dying because this matchup is going to be insane, right? XL versus Finest, the two teams that everybody has been looking at in this season of the Valorant Regional League. And of course, I'm doing it with Neo, so I couldn't be happier.
That's it. It's the best of the best, basically. I mean, this is the map, or the matchup, may I say, that if you were to look on paper, kind of coming in towards the players who you'd expect to be in the finals, you'd probably put these two up there. So I got to say, this one's exciting. It's a little bit of an early insight into potentially what the finals could be, unless Hukar's got something up their sleeve, but we can have those discussions at a later date.
Yeah.
For now, though, let's kickstart things. Man, I'm excited.
I'm so excited. Finest on the attacking, Excel on the defensive to get things started off very quickly. And talk about fast, Excel looking to move in very fast indeed. Mo looks to just initialize his inner lawnmower straight out of the bat. Doesn't really take long for me to use that card. 2v3 as Finest have themselves the advantage after that aggression from the defenders. And that causes trouble to the Excel side.
Yeah, you know, I like the aggression. Maybe a little bit too over-aggressive, but maybe could work in their favor. They're going to come through. Foxy can fall away. Just trying to slow the tempo down a little bit.
Cover going out.
Well, crazy you have such a stability to accurately hit your bullets when you're on a tightrope like that. That is skillful. All right.
James Bond to be proud.
James Bond, John Wick, Tom Cruise, so many names.
So many,
really.
so many. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon?
Yeah,
Does
wasn't
he do
he,
action stuff?
Was it Bourne Ultimatum? Bourne one of those
right.
ones? I think he was in there.
Could be.
Ah, they all look the same, don't they? They all
do.
get them all mixed up.
They're all pretty faces. All right. Finest on the B site. Excel polarized positions. Foxy on the wrong side of the world. Chihuahua, though, looking to move in. Oh, spotted by the recon, but that's 2 kills! Shuri, he's here, but he doesn't know where Destructive is. And Destructive is going to play the info game. That's ahead, not even defuse halfway, which means we're down to a one-on-one with Foxy having all of his health.
Look at the low HP, though. Destructive is on a slither HP to work with. This is all down to how this retake can work. And he's playing so passive Destructive. All he has to do is wait, and potentially as well, just bide a little bit of time.
Oh, he's causing a lot of noise with those footsteps. Oh, and he's running out of them! And of course, with a health advantage, we'll be able to take that trade no problem whatsoever. Defuse in the bag. #1 round for Excel.
Oh, I've got to say, if that is even just a small insight into what we are going to get in terms of this series, I'm excited. Right down to the wire, down to a clutch. Aggression, passivity, utility. Oh, it's God's great gift to Valorant. What a good start to this series. We mentioned this is 2 of the best teams, arguably in playoffs as a whole from this region, and so far looking so good.
And let's not beat around the bush here, right? Both of the teams, there's criticism behind them. Finest maybe one more than the other. We all remember the 11-2 choke against Ukars yesterday. They did win the best of 3 in the end, but now it's time for redemption against what would be the favorites of this tournament.
I mean, they want to forget that one. We're not going to let them.
No, never. Just like we're never going to let Alliance forget the 13-0 against Tenstone Season 1 of Polaris. Okay, now, pushing through, you know, Excel have got better weaponry, but there is a force coming through from Finest, which means if they lose this, they're set back so far behind. On the site they go. Spike could be placed, but they're going even further. Kicks wants a piece of this pie, but Mo says no. It's too tasty, I want it for myself. Licks his lips. And now we're looking at a 4v5 as Excel look to stabilize themselves in the head.
And now again, this retake got a lot of
this is
backbone
such a massive
to it.
position.
Destructive because of freebie. Looking for a second laboured spray though, and he gets punished.
And that means that the rest of Finest also have a trouble in their positioning. Makina also gets shut off, but he doesn't check his right-hand side.
no.
Oh dear! And that's Bonka bringing out the Sheriff, but he's up against 3, and that's not going to be all too good. Out into the open, Excel are able to find Yassine as the dark cover depletes.
Oh, it gets a blast pack. It's just a little hello, a goodbye present. Doesn't make a difference. Excel take a second round. As you mentioned as well, that was a forced investment. And because of that now, they come in towards these next couple of rounds with a little bit of a dicey economic affair, right? And we saw this exact similar scenario in the earlier game versus Kova versus Hukars. The same thing happened. Kova went for this forced investment into a second round. They lost it. And of course, then they went on to be 4-0 down. And the question of too little, too late already starts to sort of creep into your mind. If you build up such a big gap, especially on the defender side of Icebox, that gets kind of concerning.
And we're seeing another force.
Fair play.
Fair play indeed. I mean, when both teams have to force, why not? Chihuahua with the opener. A very, very confident position by him.
Risky. I'm finding this force very risky. Because one thing they do lack as well is a lot of wholesome utility. Right? And that makes these executes very difficult.
Does that utility give hugs?
No, wholesome. A lot of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Playing around with the other meaning of that word. Okay, 4v5. Fragment drive, looking to deter them just a little bit more. Paddy Tech, maybe to swing out. Excel, not quite over-rotating so far. They're confident with the 3 players they have in store for them. Kicks looking to initialize this. Paddytech, the first to fall on the Excel side, looking to even out those scales, but the respect is handed over. Finest take control over A.
And now the rotation's coming through. I like that. Not over-rotating too early from Excel, and now they can once again play this on even fair. 4 versus 4 on the retake.
I think Machina may want to go for a mid push here. He's going all the way around, which is all down, and Bon could hold them down, delay them. Kicks as well, playing together with a structure. Machina's approaching ever closer. Be careful of that one. Kicks finding one. Quickly to trade though. The Destructive ends up falling, which means Kicks has to play this a slow-paced game, waiting for Machina to arrive, and I think he has just in time. Spike touched. It's not for Machina though. Kicks, he runs out of bullets, but Machina just shows his crown alive with a Spectre. Oh dear! Headhunter won't be doing the job. Finest forced by the second round. Does pay dividends.
Yeah, I question the force buy. They made it work. Again, down to the wire. This is the 3rd round in a row, may I say, where it's gone down right to the finest of margins. Don't mean to use the pun there of finest, but they pick up a first round on the board. And now we can start to have a conversation about what do XL do in return. And what they're going for is a similar scenario. A force coming through. It's only a Sheriff coming out for Mo. He's prioritizing utility. And I like this. You're a Sova. You've got to find that information. That was nearly so close as well. Running out of ammo.
I was wondering why he was.
I could have lost it.
Yeah, it was
Honestly,
like, okay, 1 bullet is all I need. Well, thankfully for him, Machina had the backstab. Very, very important play from Finest to kind of mess with Excel's brains.
Well, once again, a little bit of presence over towards A. And presence detected too as well. They might commit off the back of that.
Can't use that.
They could.
Uh-oh.
Oh, they're pushing the Viper's Pit, aren't they?
Please don't do it. Hang on,
They're
no.
holding their ground, aren't they? And
I like
Excel
this.
not falling for the over-rotation yet again.
They're sort of cautious that Finest like to lurk, and I like that idea. You can see it in towards mid as well.
Ooh, there comes Destructive with the best angle, and that was over in mid. And Paddytech is so close to this action, there's no way he can trade favorably here. Yassine has the upper angle, and it's just working out for him. Chihuahua, in the midst of his own Viper's Pit, is still causing a lot of trouble. Yassine trying to find an off angle. Chihuahua ends up falling, which means the Viper's Pit is no more, and Foxy is left on the other side of this fight.
Yeah, they're not overzealous in the rotations, but once again, that's become costly, because what we've seen on a consistent basis now is that Finest have had the numbers advantage when executing on towards the site, and a similar scenario here. Foxy, a little bit slow in transition, and now becoming very costly. It's a 3 versus 1.
Shadows traveling.
Fox is going to go for this. If he gets a pick, I think he'll be feeling more confident to go for it, but without one, I can only think that he is going to be falling back. No, he gets the pick. He touches the spike. That's one in front of him. Oh, no! He surpasses him, jumps down, but that's going to cost him a lot of time. He's no idea where Bonker is, and there's a Hunter's Fury. And that Hunter's Fury is all Finest need to secure the round. Foxy will try and run away to save that gun, but he won't be able to do that either. That's Finest with the equalizer.
And now this is a completely different story in terms of momentum. I mean, it was started off looking oh so good for XL. We was showing similarities towards the Kova Hookahs game where it started off 4-0 off the back of a second round force buy. Now, not so much. All tied square, the economy over towards XL's in the dumps, and so's the momentum. And a similar scenario now where we have to have a couple of questions about how XL are going to turn this around. It's looking like they're tempted to force in once again. Please don't do it. But no, they are. Bulldog coming out, Shorty coming out. I mean, or Bucky, may I say, even.
That's a small buy.
Yeah.
It will be a 3-round stack, right?
Exactly.
So I guess they'll get a bit of a bonus at this.
Get a couple of kills, you'll take it.
Oh dear, Foxy. Oh, no, what? No! Oh, compose yourself.
Nearly. They're very nearly.
Too close, too close.
Okay, we
I
can
love that they like taking risks here. They don't mind doing that.
Yeah, but they do it in a lot of the high-risk, high-reward scenarios, and the risk doesn't always pay off,
No.
as we can see.
Oh, Destructive is never going to stop. Highlight player from yesterday, by the way. He was instrumental to Finest's victory. When he was doing well, the team was succeeding with their victories.
Yeah,
so many good lurks.
Like I was saying about him, he was sort of a shining light in a lot of the bad situations too, which is what makes him so important for me. Now into his backside, Paddytech, freebie. Looking for a second, not going to find it. Kicks.
No.
Only good for one for the time being. A live Sheriff does find, or Headhunter may I say, does find himself at least something. He potentially could make this expensive.
The moment we put Destructive in the shine light,
Of course.
in the spotlight, he ends up missing out on the spray. And Kicks gets caught off from Snowman. Finest in the lead.
Well, Finally take a lead in a way that we really didn't expect. If you kind of look how things are posturing up, we mentioned it was looking towards kind of a 3-0, 4-0 in favour of XL, them starting to build up a wealth of a lead. Now looking sort of the other way. I mean, XL on the back foot and really need to change that momentum back in their favour. Again, moments of brilliance from XL coming through, but it has been a little bit inconsistent, which now we need to find it once again. 3 in a row, that finest have found us, giving them that 1-round lead. A bit of a decent long-term economy started to be built up, at least a stable one at that, right? So it's not something they have to be too cautious of. It can allow them to be risky. For XL, not quite the same.
Tour de force, of course, for Alive. Weapons all across the board. This is looking to be the most hotly contested, especially with the ultimates coming in. Showstopper from Yassine, very quick. But he walks into the null command, which means he won't be able to use it, and Chihuahua finds the opportunity to shut the duelist down. And now they're in an interesting predicament. XL are within their ranks. Hunter's Fury looking to isolate them, but Chihuahua finds the opportunity to push forwards even further in. They're going in for the kills. Finest, they're succeeding. And there are not many of the XL players left. It's a 2-on-3 with Bonka on minimal health.
And the Viper's pit coming up too. That is huge. Now in a post-plant, everything leans in favor of Finest. And for XL, what do they do to get back into this? They've got no information.
How do you find this information? Mo does have a recon bolt.
Maybe a save.
Maybe.
Oh.
Can he spot anybody out with that? Oh, yeah, Foxy loses the trade there. That's the call. That is the call for Mo to run away. And no, he's not. He fancies this. Risky. I mean, next round is an eco anyway.
Yeah. I'd rather have a Vandal coming into it than nothing, though, right?
True.
He was testing the waters, potentially looking for an exit.
That's destructive. And that's no more destructive.
Okay, he gets an exit. That's a silver lining in a bad situation. He'll take that absolutely. Another scenario, though, even when it was a 2 versus 3, I potentially would have been tempted to save. Coming in towards this round here, round number 7, with 2 Vandals would have allowed a comfortable force in to prioritize the utility. Now if we look towards the buy coming through, they're probably going to pick up maybe Spectres or the Bulldog if they want like a lot of armor and the utility too. A little bit all over the place. We'll have to wait and see how this one ends up playing out. But what we're starting to see, realistically speaking, is Finest building up quite a nice lead. 4-2. Already, and with that sort of important win, which is the first full buy in a long time for XL, this is really a bit of a dicey situation. We're having a conversation. What is going on with the buy there?
Mo had a gun, and Chihuahua bought.
Yeah. Alive's got a lot of money, didn't use any of it, only got for headhunter bullets.
I'm so confused. What's the call here? Well, they're
okay.
moving in, and they're
working.
making it work! What's going on? So quickly, everything has gone south for Finest. Not looking so fine right now. Pretty bloodied all over. Lost a couple of limbs, and Bonko will lose his head.
Of all the rounds for XL to win, how is it that one? That makes no sense. They came in with the most higgledy-piggledy buy ever, and they've made it work. I mean, we were questioning the fact that, Alive didn't have too much, mixed buys all over the shop. X-Ray, what happened?
Mate, listen, every single round apart from the pistol, well, you can consider the pistol as well.
Yeah.
Everybody bought. Each round, we had no eco in this game at all. No eco.
What is an eco when you think about it?
What is an eco? Are we getting into an existential
this
crisis?
is the question that Albert Einstein posed back
Twiggy and
in
Moxie had an
1980.
existential crisis yesterday with the Finest game.
I am.
We all did. All right.
no.
Oh, okay. What an entry. What an entry you've seen. Doubles it up. Destructive also is there. XL. The aggression they showed in the first round didn't work. They tried the same thing again. It didn't work.
I don't like too overly aggressive defender side, and they're starting to become very costly now. Trying to deny this with 2 players is so tough.
It's going to be difficult. Spike will be going down unless you get a pick here. Mo, there's nothing you can do. Foxy against the world, against all players of Finest, and Yassine, of course it's Yassine, to get the Quadra.
What a confident start. I mean, the opening double was huge, and you look towards your duelists as space creators. I've said this time and time again, that is their job, and that is a prime example of how to do it. Pushing through the utility, finding the opening kill, a little bit of a lucky transfer through the second, but you take them nonetheless. RNG is part of the game. A 2-round gap built up by Finest. The way things started in towards this map, it wasn't looking good for Finest. 2-0 down, we were potentially, prompting the idea of potentially being 4-0 down at one point, and they have turned the tides massively. I think XL are completely on the back foot here, and if they aren't careful, hence obviously this timeout, I think they're going to be in a really bad headspace.
Yassine has been instrumental to the success of Finest, right? When he's playing good, the rest of the team is feeling good because he radiates that energy. will we be seeing that?
That's a big thing, right? I mean, when you talk about the mental game, you're seeing someone you look towards. We highlighted Destructive already. You mentioned his name earlier, and he has been brilliant so far. I mean, 10 kills, he's already on. He's been a bit of a shining light. Even the kind of the others on that final side who are a little bit lacking in terms of kills, they've been important. They've been there for utility. You look towards Machina, he's been playing that lurk role towards mid, and what he is there for is purely information, and so far, so good. Finest in a really good position right now, and I have to say, X-Warrior, I'm getting slightly concerned that XL are maybe just overthinking this a little bit. They need to just slow things down.
Yeah, play their game. So much aggression. Chill.
Yeah, chill out. Or, you know what? If they are going to go aggressive B. They've not done that proper B push, apart from with the Bucky once. Wrap in towards behind them. Get the flank going, then we can start the conversation.
Yeah, could be. But for now, fairly default. Viper's Pit to be utilized straight out of the bat. Finest looking to take mid control, something we haven't really seen from them so far, so that switches up the script.
Will it be any different, though? I mean, of course, we speak about that B wrap. It's very tentative right now. Mid control in favor of Finest. They have a decision of where they want to split, and it's looking like they might want to test those waters back over towards B. We haven't seen that for a little while.
XL cannot afford to lose this round. Literally cannot afford. They've got no money. And this will set them back quite a bit. No one challenging the A site, no one challenging B, but there's movement towards Kitchen. I think Paddytech may have telegraphed it with the trademark shown. That fragment will be only spotting at one. You're seen so close, but does get shut down. Okay, quick pick for Excel. That helps them out a lot.
And the information too as well. That's the important thing. Killed one, and the information on the second two. They've got a pretty good idea they're in towards mid.
And Finest gained no space.
True that. Hold, wait, slow down the tempo. This is what we want from XL.
30 seconds left.
Last time they did push the Viper's Pit, it actually did work, but it's differently placed now. There's a gap through it to the right-hand side. Alive knows of this, and of course he's holding that angle. But there's not much time, man. They've got to pull the trigger on this push, and that they will. Suddenly move forward, Chihuahua waiting for it. They can hear them. A commotion alive, you can't miss that. He does pay for it with his life, but goodness me, that was clean. So clean from Excel.
We highlighted Alive as well. I mean, he's one of those players who we said in moments when necessary, he can step up, and at that round he did. Finding himself a double with a Headhunter, more or less confirms the round. The Viper's Pit was the most instrumental thing there. Chihuahua, all he individually had to do was stay alive. The most simplistic of a thing for a player. Stay alive, and it wins them a round. It's brilliant. He buys enough time for them to be forced into a really awkward rotate back over towards A. And Finest essentially just had not enough time on the clock to be able to pull off the execute in time. The clock became their worst enemy when it's so far been their best friend.
They spent so much time to try and gain Kitchen and control that. At the end of the day, it did come back to bite them. Ooh.
It's info. That is serious info.
Did he spit out 4 people there?
I think so.
Well, Paranoia sent out. That's a useful piece of utility to be taken out so quickly. Foxy, very aggressive angle. Fragment means he won't be able to TP out of that. And they're looking to approach. Excel starting to rotate over. I think they've realized what is going on, and they're looking to assist Foxy. A 4-man stack up towards the B site for the defenders, while Finest put all their chips in one. Dark cover. Maybe to give him a one-way, maybe to give him an opportunity to swing, but he's not. He's keeping them close. That is Machina to find the first kill. Paddytech has to move away to get that recon bolt, but it seems that Chihuahua will be replacing Foxy's position. Oh, the paint chills are so good. Mo will be trading, but you can't afford them to be just trades. You need more than that. They're sticking around, all of them. And it may be a little bit tough here for Chihuahua because everything that's thrown at him, they want to make sure they get one more before they start pushing. Now they will. They're running out of time. Therefore, the spike needs to go down. That is Chihuahua in a really difficult spot. Still, Finest to win on every single end. Machina puts that operator to good use, and Alive is all by himself.
And it's a question of, for Alive, does he even pull the trigger on attempting this retake? I mean, this is asking a lot of him. 1 versus 3. Bit of space to work with, but he doesn't know that he's being wrapped. We already can see Destructive going for a bit of a flank coming through and cutting off that transition. He's going loud and proud too, which makes it all the more uncomfortable, and I think he'll be caught in transition. He's got so much to do with so little information to go off. Tapping away.
What?
But he misses the shot, Destructive.
What? Yeah, he's got no time. He's got no time, but he might go down with a fight. That's a flash drive, and that is his death.
It's an expensive one too.
Oh, very expensive.
Well, a couple of questions there. I mean, one thing to mention when you look towards XL was that Alive never rotated. I mean, they had seen 4 people with a knife alone, and he didn't even attempt to rotate. I know he was holding that flank over from A towards B, but you know, they're expecting a rotation to come through. It doesn't, and there's 20 seconds left on the clock. Rotate, go towards mid, at least at range, be a little bit of an asset to your team, but he wasn't. He was very, very slow on that, and because of it, it's a similar scenario that we've seen time and time again, that the rotations have been very costly. Normally, it's from B over towards A. This time, vice versa.
Oh, showstopper. Yassine wants a piece of this very early. They know, and Alive is there to stop him. Just like that, Finest are down a man without being able to use a showstopper, but has it created enough space? No. Kix is all by himself, but I think this may be all an obfuscation. The rest of them moving out towards the B side. Kix has to lose his life. Obviously, with his ultimate enabled, he may be able to sustain that position for a little longer, but Finest look to take the fight elsewhere.
They're rotating. Only one player there to meet them as well as Foxy, and he's deep in the back lines. We can already see them get a lot of room just on the back of Destructive.
But they lose 2 players in the process, which begs the question, was it worth it? They haven't even gotten the spike down, and if Destructive doesn't get that kill, it becomes even more difficult. Viper's Pit does help them out a little bit. Oh, no. Oh, Machina had to hit that shot. And now it's 2 versus 4. Double the amount of players here for Excel. Hunter's Fury, Bonker just dodging. Oh, he's dancing around that one. But he's able to make it out. A live fragment was also thrown at him, but it's the shock dart to take him down. Oh, can't be too funny for him, but it's hilarious for the people watching, looking to see him dancing all across the map there. But yeah, outnumbered is just the easy way for Excel to just take over this retake.
Yeah, he might have a really nice round there. It was so simple. Find himself 3 kills. Brilliant, but it's not the kills that make the most importance. It's that Hunter's Fury coming through and just being a nuisance. Doesn't allow you to go for the standard staple plant. Has to rotate back over towards the old one where you put the Sage Wall up, all of the good stuff, the old meta, the old guard. And because he's over in that position, he's really uncomfortable, caught in no man's land. And a couple of shock darts and a couple of headhunter bullets later, Bob's your uncle and X are up to 5. Deficit down to only 1. We've got a game on our hands going into the final round of the half. It's more or less as even as it can get. It's a question of, can XL make this a 6-6 half? And then we can really start having the conversation about potentially going the full distance.
Correct me if I'm wrong, this is Excel's map pick, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
No, this is Finest map pick, sorry. XL map 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nowhere to run!
Ooh, okay, just about staying alive, it's okay.
Hunter's Fury. Nothing gained out of it. Look at the response from Excel. They're not staying back like they did the previous rounds. They have adjusted. They put all their chips into this basket right here. Palitek forced back, not disabled, not spotted. Chihuahua the first pick, but has to get traded. And alive to put that Hunter's Fury. Hunter's Fury? No, that's the tour de force. But still, I mean, it means that Excel are on top right now. They've got the numbers. They know exactly what's going on. And Finest may want to master their movement, but they cannot know more. And they're running out of time. They're running out of options. They have to start moving in. And Excel have got all that backside covered.
And the rotation's coming through as well. It's now going to be a numbers advantage over towards A side. We were begging this question about when are they going to be able to do it, and now they can.
The only piece of utility Finest have is that one flash drive, and now the recon bolt. They have to be the best, well-placed pieces of utility for them to help them get this push through. You're seeing what an opener. That shouldn't have been there, and he just created it. 25 seconds. Paint chill by the feet of Palitek. That forces him out into the open. The flash drive comes in as well! That paint is so deadly that it takes down 2 players of Excel!
Oh, do you know what? I wanted to highlight Yassine for finding a double there with the paint canisters, but it's not even his highlight. It's XL's mistake. What are you doing? The flash drive going through the paint canisters, the idea is great, but not when you're going to die. It's not the way to do it. And because of it, they lose a round which should have been a nail in the coffin, a guaranteed 6 on the board. We come in towards the half or evenly squared. The idea to double swing through paint canisters when you're both low makes no sense. XL are their own worst enemy, and now we're in a different scenario. Find us the 2 rounds up, heading in towards this second half, and now on the defender side as well, which is, you know, arguably the preferred side too in some cases. I gotta say, XL, they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit with a few rookie mistakes, and this could become very problematic.
They did everything right, Neo. Right at the start, apart from that. Apart from that, indeed.
But one mistake's so costly, and we've seen this now on multiple times.
Yeah, now they're on the attack, and it looks like they want to be proactive, very proactive, but Finest want to do the exact same thing. Oh, they're in the back line! Who's attacking, who's defending? Somebody tell me, because I'm confused. Spike is in the hands of the defenders, though. And it's a 3-on-3, but Alive looking to punish this, but he's all by himself, waiting for reinforcements in mid to put pressure from 2 directions. Bonker knows where he wants to put his forces towards. Alive has to TP out of that, but it gives them time to pick up that spike, or does it? Poison Cloud conceals him, and just as it depletes, Paddy Tech finds the kill. Machina, that's a really good angle to hold, but Alive is starting to inch forwards. And Finest are starting to drop players, starting to drop damage, destructive. He's staying within that Poison Cloud, and that will be easy for him to be picked up unless he gets a right click like that. 2-on-2, 45 seconds. Paddy Tech approaching, and he's moving in with Alive. They're going to play the trade game, the buddy system on both ends. How do you do this? This is all down to fighting. This is all down to shooting and who's most accurate, who will come out on top. That is uncomfortable. Alive gets them both.
Oh, I thought for a second we were going to have that standing conversation of a free pistol, by the way. But no, only does get himself one. That went down to the wire, but for the second time we've seen XL pick up the second pistol round. And that has been one of the monumental things that was made XL so good. We saw it yesterday in their opening game. They picked up every single pistol round. They did not drop a pistol round. They're still yet to drop a pistol round. And that has made them the difference maker, because it gives you a lot of this early momentum in towards each and every half. The only thing is, they've been a little bit lackluster on the full buys. If they can just iron out the kinks on that, this is when XL starts to become the dominant roster that we know they can be.
Will they be that? All right, well, no force buy from Finest this time around. We've seen a lot of that the previous half. So,
Thank God.
yeah, we'll just calm down a bit. Let's chill and let Chihuahua and Alive feel a little bit more comfortable now that they're dealing with lesser weaponry. Of course, won't be too much of an issue. They're going after them. They really are. They're going out to hide and seek, and there's no hiding involved for Machina. Already sought out. The equalizer found. Excel's 2 simple rounds to start off this half.
That's what equal as well. Everyone finds their own kill. It's a team ace. You can't say no to that one at all. All tied square now. 7 rounds apiece. This is where the game starts to open up a little bit now. Worth looking at the attacking side of XL being on essentially what is a bonus buy. They don't need to invest too heavily into anything apart from utility. And then the full buy of Finest. The question is though, and the biggest thing that we want answering, if Finest fail their full buy, this could be XL pushing towards double digits already, basically.
Looking at the toxic screens placed here from Excel, one going towards mid, alluding to the idea that they're playing around that area, but no, Finest have capitalized on that position very early, but Yassine has to pay for it with a lot of health. Destructive wants to take more of that space and gets punished. Chihuahua says, no, that is too greedy. I want that space myself. And they will be coming out on top in numbers, even though they're lacking on the weapons department.
Aggressive start gets punished, I said. Bonus buy, if this comes out on top, that more or less could confirm things for them to go towards double digits and really put the pressure on.
In regards to seeking out information here for Finest, they don't really have too much utility, right?
That's the big thing, right? I mean, for Finest, Destructive will be the one. Kicks are going to drop the knife coming through. Now look at the present day detected. That's huge.
As soon as a knife came available again, he used it and instantly has a lot of info at his disposal. And it's triggered so much response from the Finest side. Moving in now, looking to play this together. There's no playing around this. They know what is going on. Looking to push through mid. They're all getting caught off guard. The weapons prevail. Paddy Tech and Mo and Alive are turning around. They're heading to the B site. Who will be fastest?
Can they make it in time? I mean, they're going to be tested, so even getting a spike down is going to be a big ask here. And they might once again even be tempted. Well, it's not even no point saving because they will be able to buy into next anyway. They're going to try and get a spike down at range, tapping away. Machina trying to make this all
he's got it.
Expensive. Hang on a second.
He's got the plant. Oh, never mind.
Oh, close.
All they have to do is just hide away here, but they will go for the kills nevertheless. Alive finds himself a Vandal for a bonus round. That's a lot of damage inflicted to Finest, but they get the win either way.
Guy drops there anyway. He picks it up for no goodies. They'll be able to buy nonetheless. But when we look towards that round, the most important factor, the winning factor, was kicks. It was that one single knife. That won them the round because before that, they were in no man's land. I mean, Finest had absolutely no idea about what XL were even attempting to do, what they were trying to set up, where they were looking to even fathom and execute coming forward. And it's that one knife from kicks over towards the late side, which more or less gives them every bit of information that they need. There's 3 players here. There's 25 seconds left to work with. They have to be committed to an execute here, and they do. He wins it.
Yeah, I really love how Finest are playing this one right now so far with the info game.
Just slow.
Really clean.
That's all they need to do.
Yeah, Excel seemed overzealous the previous half.
Agreed.
Well, well, now on the attack, I guess they can afford to be a little bit greedy, dictating the pace. Let's see if they can do that successfully. Wow. Again, that dagger has found so much information round after round. This time, 4 players spotted. But it doesn't seem like Excel want to relinquish that pressure. They stick around, at least for a little while.
Chihuahua's testing the waters over towards B. There's 2 players here to greet him, and they want him to come close and personal, especially with that judge.
Yeah, that dragon can do quite a bit.
That's a bit of a bite to him. Some chompers on them.
Some chompers, some flames. Either they're burned or chopped up.
Oh.
Still can fall. Did he?
Yeah, he did a fake jump.
That
Now
nade can do quite a bit. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, he drops back, but this is taking a lot of time out of Finest here. 33 seconds. Excel need to move in quickly, and they're not moving in towards B, and I think Finest have just realized this, right? If they were to push towards B, they would have done it already. Now onto the A side. The rotations are starting to come through. Can they do this in time? 20 seconds. Snakebite and Fragment holding them back. This is getting pressuring. The kills will start to commence if Kix takes the swing here. But the flash drive, it's coming through! Kix is accurate with a double kill. Mo is in the backline, infiltrating it, but they need to get the spike down quickly. Chihuahua drops the ball on the first, but he still gets the second. Machina is on 1 point of health. Excel get the spike down. Excel get the kills. Excel get the win.
That is such a good round. The lurking towards mid is brilliant. We know what Chihuahua loves to do. He will sit in mid all day, win rounds off the back of him individually getting so much information, but that was brilliant. The execution timed to perfection. All they had to do was buy enough time for Finest to double guess themselves, and that's what we saw. They started to spread a little bit too thin. They were tempted with too slow of a rotation. This double spray down, I gotta give the commiserations, the credit to Kix. He gave it a bloody good effort, but he could not close that one out. It's a Chihuahua Mo masterclass for, well, Excel to tie this game up. 8 apiece. We've got a game on our hands here.
Who would have thought pressing mouse 1 would look so impressive?
I know. I can't do that. That's why I'm a caster.
Yeah. Yeah, just, you know, getting the flashbacks of wanting to play well in solo queue and not doing well.
I gave up early doors.
Yeah. Stuck in elo hell, just like the rest of you.
Well, now, slow once again. 1 minute 10 to work with. This time, early presence over towards B, but it's not too much of a commitment. You can see the spikes very deep in the back lines. They've still got a bit of presence over towards A2. So it's not that early commitment, that over commitment that XL been slightly prone to on the attacking side.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
a
no.
bit of a switcheroo in positions. And Machina doesn't check behind him.
Oh, unfortunate.
Well, I think the call has been given, though, to the rest of the team that they know it's not an A-site take, therefore the B-site can be pushed over, which is a stack-up for them. The weapons do seem to be getting the favorable trades. Sheriff's really not finding too much luck. Even the recon bolt gets eliminated straight out of the bat, so the spike will go down, but only pot shots can be thrown throughout that smoke. It's only luck that can go in favor of Finest. Talk about luck!
You take them. You do. Luck is part of the game, and he's been blessed by the Valorant gods in that one. That's a freebie. Kicks all
Go get the
alone.
scratch card.
There we go.
All right.
Simple stuff. Alive going to close things out. I mean, realistically, when you look on paper, you can't have expected too much from Finest in that sort of round. They had no investment, or a very minimal investment by any means. But I mean, at the very least, find yourself a kill, at least test the waters means you can sort of keep XL's economy in check. But it's starting to once again get towards that point of potentially even too little too late. Up to 9, a 4-buy coming out for Finest here, but a failure to convert means that XL not only get double digits, but they break the economy of Finest, which then gives them more or less potentially an 11th, pushing towards a 12. This game could be done in a matter of, what, 2 buys left for Finest if they're unable to find this one. A lot of pressure. XL are the ones to call a timeout because they know how important this round here can be.
I like how Excel take their timeouts, to be honest. I think they're one of the teams that use them at the proper moments at the right time. They know when the pressure is on and when it is most impactful for them to reassign the strategy. Also play a mental game with Finest. Are they going to be doing the same thing, or will they be switching things up? And that's definitely what Finest are thinking right now.
I guess we could probably agree on this. That not only are they one of the teams that use it the most impactfully, they're one of the only teams that use them. Like, a lot of these teams that we've seen, especially in playoffs, but generally speaking in the regular season, I mean, even if you look towards, we have to bring it back. I don't mean to do it to them, but Alliance 13-0.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it back. You know, there's one timeout that entire game. I mean, come on,
Ugh.
10 star. You're losing
They just
the plot.
gave up.
I know. And you even saw it, for example, the 11-2, the choke.
Yeah.
Yes, they were finest. They still were. They caught a few of them, a couple of them, but they were
Too
at a
late.
point of too little, too late, right? I mean, you're calling it when you've gone from 11-2 all the way back to 12-12. It's like, what's the point now?
Overconfidence, It's messing with them. Finest seem to allude to the idea of a push over towards the A main angle, but really do drop back from that. They double back from it, but no, they actually hold on to this position with 3 players. This is really interesting because it is a solid read from them. Yes, the toxic screen is placed towards mid, but the rest, they're just going to move in towards A main. It seems that Finest have got the right idea. No one from the defenders is placed towards B.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a quick rotate potentially, but they, as you mentioned, making a more or less a committal play. This is going to be a 5-on-5 over towards the A side.
Oh, Kicks can't use his null command. That's important. Paddytech is close by, used his own. Spray does come through. Goodbye. Oh my goodness. How did they all fall just there? But somehow it seems that Finest seem to find themselves on top. Paddytech can get res, but it seems a little bit too far out of reach for his teammates to catch up to him. Alive with the upper ground. Will be getting the kill onto the Destructor, but still, Paddytech ends up falling after all. No resurrection for him. Alive! Alive! What a spray down. What a spray down indeed. And it's all down to Bonker. That shock dart can do so much, but no damage has been found. His shooting power needs to prevail. They know exactly where he is, which means Excel are comfortable to hold their angles. That's the first. But Alive swings in time, and that's Excel on double digits.
That is a textbook post-plant. That is how you play a numbers advantage post-plant. Crossfire setup, both angles, the only 2 angles that he can possibly come from without making any noise. Of course, if he wanted to go loud and proud, he'd jump up on towards wires, but it makes a noise, and then they can avert their attention. That's how you play it. Play off contact. Even though it's a low player or live swinging, it doesn't matter either way, because he knows he's going to be able to win off the back of that swing, because the contact's been made elsewhere. Really nicely played. Textbook, after saying Alive. Again, being that player for me, who I think has been the consistent man to step up. And XL, in a lot of their kind of rough moments, they look to him to step up.
They do indeed. Yassine. Yassine. Thankfully for him, this time around, that showstopper did pay dividends.
That was risky, though. It was super risky in towards mid. But you got to take risks if you want to turn the tides. And XL, they're already up to double digits.
The thing is that it's a Sheriff buy, right? I mean, if you waited to use that later on, it would have been 4 ultimates,
True.
I guess. Yeah, wanted to make sure that they spread them out across a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, if they win this round, look how much of a difference that'll make. And Kicks is nice, and Aggro Disc could
If he
work
gets
nicely.
one, all he needs is a trade. All he needs is 1 kill. That,
I believe in
that
3.
TP from Foxy. That causes him to fall back. I'm just looking at Finest's response here. Their rotate is everything. Having the numbers placed at the right point in time is what they need to do, because they can't have weapons at the latter stage of this round. Paranoia. Well, cleverly falling back from that one. Paddytech, oh, the timing! Oh, that could have gone wrong in so many levels, but it seems to know exactly what is going on. He gets 1 kill, runs away with his life. They're looking to push forward. Destructive is able to trade it out, but he's flashed over himself. Now they do commit to the cross towards the B site, and they will be finding it open.
Oh, that's an amazing mid-take. And now, of course, off the back of one individual Paddytech there, they can start to wrap through. Viper's Pick going to come online too, and in a post-spawn situation, this is perfect. All they have to do now is buy some time. As a rotation comes through Alive, going to find one more. Machina falls as Kicks all alone in a 1 versus 3. A hope and a prayer to find a 9th there, and I think this book is closed.
Could very much be closed, wrapped up and sealed. Oh, the air fragment at his feet.
Oh, you hate to see it.
You've got to. You know what, though? The Viper Spit was expended, right?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, Finest did achieve something out of that.
2 kills and a Viper's Pit. It's expensive, right? They at the very least made something of that. But realistically, if we look to where we are now, it's XL up to 11. Finest starting to fall a little bit flat, and Finest starting to be consistently caught in really inopportune positions. What it shows to me is that XL have got them down now. They've got to read on how they like to set up on the defender side, and that is the worst possible position you could be in when you're on the defender side, is when the attackers know exactly how you like to set up and how you like to rotate. I feel like XL, it seems like now just a matter of time, unless Finest completely change the game plan, and a Viper's Pit here might do exactly that.
Yeah, we saw that Viper's Pit earlier on, but this one's a little bit deeper placed, therefore no gap towards the right-hand side. Although XL are looking for that. Not quite finding it. Excel. Ooh, they stuck around for a little bit too long. It's just a simple spray down from Destructive to give them the man's advantage. And yeah, this is troubling. That's Paddy Tech. That's their initializer, you know? No flash drive, no dagger to be used. This is going to take this is going to make their takes a lot more difficult.
And they've predicted an early rotate, and this could work. One play over towards mid, two over towards B, and the spike's rotating towards them. They're walking into trouble.
Look how deep Yasin is as well. He can pop out of there so quickly and do so much. Oh, they know where Alive is. Oh, okay. All right. So he's able to rendezvous out of there. No problem. Chihuahua opens things up for his team. Finally a kill for Excel, but still no space granted. And they've only got 30 seconds to work with here, Neo.
And this is cutting things fine. One player draw the back lines. What was we see? That could be the difference maker, but what can Mac going to do with the operator?
Okay. From the shadows onto the site, spotted, has to stop it. 20 seconds, Machina. Oh, they managed to cross through. They managed to get the plant down. Chihuahua solo, but he's able to commit it. No! Bonker stops it. 3 on 4. Finest still on the top. Still with the upper hand. Foxy spotted. Still can't get that spike down. They're so annoying. They move it out of the dark cover, but that would be costly. Mo and Foxy are there to stop him. The plant comes in on time. Or does it? It does! And he's only got 4 points of health. Destructive.
No.
On a 1v1 versus Foxy.
He's got a bit of util as well. He can slow things down, but so is Destructive.
Poison Cloud. Maybe to conceal that position, but just a spray. Oh,
no.
Foxy! What an angle to hold! And that puts Excel on map points.
Foxy, take a bow, son. Take a bow. Of all the ways to win that, with 4 points of HP in a clutch situation against the full HP of Destructive, a man who has been destructive in the name and in the game, not only today, but this entire playoff series. And he steps up huge. Foxy, that is brilliant. Finest are quaking in their boots as they call a timeout as they're moments, mere moments, away from losing their own map pick. XL, this could be the start of something brilliant.
At the start of the season, everybody was saying, okay, well, Aussie, those are some big shoes to fill, but Foxy coming in here, controller, IGL, he's doing everything right now, and he's doing them well.
That's a tough ask. To do all of those things that Foxy's very reliable on, he's looking to one of those guys, of course, he's not only calling, but he has to do a lot of the fragging as well, a lot of the kind of early round, the mid-round calls, trying to, on the fly, figure out what your opponent are doing. He's been doing a very decent job of it. And the fact that he can step up in a clutch situation, not even for a second nervous, you'll have to see it. Finest, I think that they're potentially losing the mental a little bit.
Yeah, Finest pulled up to the gun shop and they realized they're falling short a few credits.
Yeah.
They're trying to empty their pockets here, but they only find a couple of flies and maybe a button, but no coins. It's a bit annoying. Very annoying, right? Machine is going to be relying on that headhunter.
He's broke.
Half shields all across the board. Bulldog, Guardian. Less than optimal when you're dealing with an XL on map point.
XL map point on Finest map pick, may I remind you, and they have got nothing in the bank. It is just mere dust.
Oh, wow.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Well, if they do more of that, then I don't see why not they could win and hold on. We've seen comebacks even greater than these. Poison Cloud, allowing the spike to go down. Kix is able to find another, and all of a sudden, Finest find themselves with a two-man advantage.
Overextended. This is not great at all.
There are no ultimates on the Excel side either, therefore this is all going to have to come down to their shooting abilities. Mo forced out into the open. He does get traded due to the paint shells thrown at him, but Chihuahua's looking to spray down. Yasin is so down accurate, but Alive gets through. He needs to get quicker and a little bit closer. Can he get it? Yasin is diffusing. Alive with a shot onto Kix. Alive with a shot onto Yasin, but it comes in too late. Everyone from Finest falls, but they do get the round.
But he does get 4 kills, so fair play. He's at least made it even more expensive, but what really matters is Finest come out on top. They are keeping this heart beating. They're keeping it alive. The story isn't quite to its final chapter just yet, but at the very least, what we have seen from Alive, yes, it's a round in which they win. Yes, they still haven't closed out this map, but the buy is still less than optimal. Half armor in most cases. Utility slightly lacking. The buy slightly lacking again with a Spectre and Bulldog coming through. So even though Finest win the round, it isn't a dream scenario for them to be in. They're still on a bit of a mixed buy.
Excel must be a little bit scared here. They've had difficulty closing out maps before.
So we're fine. That's their bread and butter.
Okay. Not kind of the bread and butter you would love to see, really. Just Neo throwing shots again. But talking about shots, we've already seen a trade. The B site seems to be the favoured site for the past couple of rounds, and it has been opened up, but the back end of it yet to be cleared and yet to be comfortable to put that spike down.
They've struggled to get onto his B site multiple times here, but this hop shot at range could be the difference maker. Alive has been a stoic god in towards map 1, and this is where you need to step up.
Showstopper, Yassine, used straight out of the bat. Alive looking at a deep corner placement with the operator. He walks right past him, Headhunter drawn out, but it's going to be a trade. Excel on the back foot. 40 seconds, they need the kills. Mo already starting the wraparound towards the A site, but Patitech has been left behind. 2 players on solo missions.
What does Patitech do here as well? Does he still try and bait in over towards the B site, or does he try and catch him in rotation? This could work quite nicely. He might get the timing.
Can he hear it? Not quite. Oh, the dagger. Spotting Mo. Destructive. Could get spotted. 12 seconds. They start to move in. 10 seconds. Mo. Even further. Destructive.
Oh, no.
Caught off guard. Oh, Mo. That could have been a great time to get a kill over the Snowman. Bonka gets a kill into Patitech. Just in the nick of time getting the spike down. All down to Mo, the lawnmower. Can you make that grass shine once again? Bonkering kicks might be looking green and juicy, but the spike is being touched. Mo doesn't ping. It's being diffused. It's being diffused, Mo! Finest do not fake, and they get themselves on double digits.
As the age-old saying goes, pros don't fake. And we see it once again there. Finest up to double digits. This story's not done. Finest have got life in them. We saw them choke out a pretty significant lead yesterday, and they're now trying to pay it back in dividends, and this is starting to work quite nicely. Finest, when the pressure's on, that's when they seem to find their best work, and this is what we've seen from Finest, not only, you know, in the playoffs, but generally in Polaris. They're slightly slow starters, but they really find their best form when they're under pressure, and now that they are under pressure, this is the best VALORANT we've seen them play in a long time.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying this, really am. I want to see more of this in playoffs. Mo with the Hunter's Jury will be using it straight out of the bat. No, it's Bonka. They had the Hunter's Jury as well. Okay. Just heard the audio cue and just assumed there. B site yet again. Are we looking at a B simulator here? Is this a new game?
At A site, they hate it. They don't like it right now. I mean, still, again, potentially going to look towards going back over towards A, but they're scared of a flank.
Hunter's Fury from Mo. This time I'm not assuming. Chihuahua getting the spike down, Machina to interrupt it and gets out of dodge with a press of a button. Fox in a difficult spot, unravels himself out of it, gets the kill, but my screen is frozen. There's action going on and I don't know what it is. Oh, do we know?
I
spike on down.
That's a good sign.
Well,
that's a
for
good
Excel
sign.
it is. Is it for Finest though?
I could not tell you.
We're all in this together.
Yeah. I'll use the monitor as braille as I'll try and figure out what is going on. It's a post-plant scenario. Sound seems to have gone, so I think this one, we're going to have to make predictions. I'm going,
no, that's
Excel down to...
Oh, what?
Okay.
A lot have happened!
A lot have happened.
A lot have happened. English hasn't happened.
What happened?
What happened? Well, Finest is still in the game. That's what's happened.
They won. They won the round. I can't... Well, my colour duties are really struggling right now, I've got to say.
What do you say now?
I can predict, but that's...
How did that happen, Neo?
Who remain alive? How did that happen? We'll take a look. Well, that was all over the place even before we didn't see what happened. So when we actually see what happened, it'll be kind of crazy. Spike went down.
Okay.
Post-spawn set up at a numbers disadvantage. And that was the biggest issue that we see for XL on a consistent basis on their attacking side.
Two behind
They have
yellow.
always been on the numbers disadvantage. And that's another scenario where Finest just play for the trades.
Yeah, flashes were thrown at them. I can expect shock darts as well. That just forced them out in the open. Thank you, observing team and production team, for bringing us this replay. That is a beautiful series of kills. Destructive with a quadra. Perfect. Thank you very much, production team, for bringing back this round for all of us to bear witness to.
Destructive again.
Destructive again.
What a performance. What a performance he has had.
And this enables him to use a Viper's Pit.
Look at him now. One round has made such a difference. I have a feeling potentially OT could be on the cards here. But of course, Tour de Force has come out over towards Alive.
And they've also got their Viper Spear. And from the shadows.
And from the shadows too. Patek will find a couple. No command comes on.
Why
Different
not?
story.
Completely different. Excel have lost their composure though. They've lost their tempo. Finest have got full grasp of the pace of this game. Seems Excel may be looking for another B push. They're so scared of that Viper Spit, even though
I am.
it's taking over a singular person. But of course, they don't know that.
Not only are they scared of the Viper Spit, they're scared of the A side. We haven't seen them go there in 4 rounds now. They just do not even want to tempt those waters.
Machina hasn't really gone too deep recently, which is troubling because now we can catch them off guard.
no.
They've got no clue. They haven't cleared it. They just assumed it's open because it has been for the past 3 rounds. But it's not. Machina's there, and you don't want him to be there. Paddy Tech, Foxy finding the kills. It's all coming together, but it's not coming together for Finest. All of a sudden, it's Excel on top. The spike will be going down. Destructive. It's all down to you, mate.
It's very green right
The
now.
highlight player of this team this season. The Turkish firepower madman. Can he do it?
Chihuahua can play post plant. He's got 2 bits of utility. All he has to do is hold for the snake bites. It's so simple yet so effective. This could work quite nicely. Destructive time.
Away, all the way around the world here, Chihuahua.
He's got a no-shot.
Oh, he's hiding. Yeah, there's no way he can find them. There's no way.
Is that it?
Is that it? Well, he's showing his ground right now. That's
GG.
alive. Coming out of the shadows. Excel, get it done. But goodness, that was close. 13-11 goes to them. Analyst desks, we need an
Enjoy.
explanation.
Enjoy that one.
My heart is going pitter-patter right now. That was an incredible back and forth. Going in favor for Excel, first of all, but then Finest find a way to claw back. Excel eventually do manage to close it out, but it wasn't without a struggle.
Yeah, absolutely. Excel looked better than yesterday, I would say. Even though this match was tighter, I know that Excel, they brought back so many things from that group stage. I loved how Chihuahua on the attacking side did those lurks. The flank control as well was so good. There were so many rounds that Chihuahua all alone was able to find a pick or 2 on the flank, on the rotation, which allows Excel to just freely go on the side.
Yeah, I mean, this is a completely different Excel to what we saw yesterday. Finest have forced something out of them that we really haven't seen for quite a couple weeks, honestly. We hadn't seen this out of Excel for probably week 7, week 6 of the regular season either. This is something that they were forced into playing together, playing holistically. They were really thinking about every move they made, and they only just eked out the win. I think Finest have done an incredible job to try and get what they can out of this map, but Excel are just a force to be reckoned with here.
Yeah, Excel not really to be taken lightly, and we said this was going to be a rematch. Finest won last time around, but this was Finest map pick. We also said for Finest specifically, one of those teams that do find it a little bit difficult to get into groove of things. So usually that first map not really going their way, but MP, the next map, Haven, Excel's pick.
Yeah, absolutely. Excel are looking so good in Haven, and in fact, actually, Haven was the only map that they were able to beat Finest in the last season, this season actually, when they faced against each other. So, yeah. I mean, obviously this is gonna go Finest's way or this is going Finest's way. They lost the first map. They are the kings of reverse sweep, but I don't think it's gonna be the case this time around. Haven is so good for Excel.
Yeah, we spoke about the firepower coming in from both of these teams, and as highlighted, as they should be, alive and destructive. Both of these players absolutely phenomenal at clicking heads.
Alive is inhuman. I honestly don't know how he finds any of these kills that he gets half the time. Just clicking heads is his bread and butter here. 29 kills, 2.8 KDA. That is unbelievable. You know, like you'll find good chambers all over the place, but Alive is another breed.
Yeah, I don't think MP would be a good chamber.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Thank you.
But you didn't have to say it. Especially after Alive takes like 29 kills on this map, 300 ACS, so almost. And that just looks so good. Haven is definitely one of those maps that Alive can shine as well. You have to take so much control. Haven, obviously you have 3 sides. On the defending side, you have to go for those A lobby pushes, mid pushes, and also see long pushes, which we have seen a lot from Excel. Yeah. I think Alive is definitely a key part on those. And if he's dropping 30 almost on this map already, I think Haven is just gonna be his playground when he gets that breach on his side.
Yeah, but not to take anything away from Finest. They really made Excel work for it. They made them sweat for this win. 13-11, almost going to overtime as well for this map specifically here, Twiggy. But we're gonna be going to Haven. Finest, they need that mental reset. What can they do?
Honestly, I think they've got a great reset from that game. I think they really warmed up into that one. Obviously, we saw that Hookahs as well, they had a tough time warming up into their first map. They eventually did win it out, but you know, Finest, it's the same for them. They had a tough start to that game. You saw XL won a few rounds in a row. They they forced up into the second round when I feel like that probably wasn't a great choice. In fact, they needed every round they could get that game. And, you know, Finest, they took a second to warm up. They actually did warm up quite a bit. So I think in this next one, they're probably at their peak now. They just really need to take it over the line, and even though that's a bit difficult.
Yeah, let's talk specifically about those forces, about those gambles that actually paid off. XL investing in themselves. They're collecting those dividends as they were walking away with the win. We have a replay from round 7 that MP wants to highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this was really interesting. A lot of people would say, yeah, this is a gamble. You're going for that second rifle investment. Obviously, Mo saved that rifle, but Chihuahua just clearly emptying bank. I would say this is so risky investment, but it absolutely pays off. 2 rifles on A side, 3 rest of the players are pushing from B. There's a recon dart as well for that information. And you know, right here, Destructive is like, go A, I'm hearing steps. And the A side is just cleaned by Mo and Chihuahua. They're just holding them back. That single Viper wall is enough to keep Finest away from that side and the rifles as well.
Yeah, XL really do be walking away with that win here. We've seen some things that we haven't seen from them against Kova yesterday, so it definitely felt like they have been tested. They're going to be tested once more on Haven. Yes, it is their map pick, but can they be walking away with the win? Can they secure themselves that place in the finals tomorrow, or is Finals going to have an opportunity, a glimpse of revenge? Find out after the break.
Left.
Hello, it's me, Patryk Pajtek-Fabrowski. I'm a second duelist and flasher for Team XL.
Hello, my name is FoxyGG and I gel for XL.
I think definitely my clutch versus Kova, the one before I pulled off. I think that was like personally my favorite moment. But I think like besides that, the finals game, because we got a lot out of it and we fixed a lot of mistakes based off of that match, so it really helped us.
On my team, I would have to say like Petitek. I think he's done an amazing job. He was the person I least expected from, like, because I already knew he was good. So, but yeah, he's definitely done more than what I thought he was capable of.
My MVP would be my teammate Alive. I think like he's the best player in the league, but not in the league. I would say like he's close to be like the best upcoming talent.
A real IGL, a good coach, just a good team structure in general. The way in which we work, the way we practice, the way everything we do really is just probably a lot more professional than the rest of the league.
Our coaching staff is amazing, and I think they're like the best in the league, and if not the best in the world, I would say. I think just because we're the strongest team, like everyone from our team thinks we're the strongest team, and I think we've shown some of that in stage 2. Hopefully we can show it in playoffs and be even better than we are right now.